Hey guys, it's Tom here from Metalloud, and I'm going to be doing a 10-year review today. This is about an album that is turning 10 years old this year. It came out in 2005, and this album is called Inhumane by the Koffin Kats. Now, I'm sure a lot of you out there probably have not heard of the Koffin Kats. They're a psychobilly band out of Detroit, Michigan. Now, if you're wondering what psychobilly is, basically rockabilly fused with punk that has a lot of horror elements to it as well. It's kind of like if Elvis was around today and got into the hardcore scene and started doing, horror punk songs. The signature to psychobilly is generally the stand-up bass, which usually is played by the frontman or frontwoman of the band. That's kind of the standout of the genre here. It's loud, it's aggressive, it's fast-paced, and it's just fantastic lyrically and musically. It's a lot like listening to a B horror movie from like the 1950s, somewhere around there. And if I had to choose one album of the psychobilly genre to kind of show to somebody to represent it or to get somebody into it, this would be that album. Inhumane takes everything about psychobilly, the description of that I could give, and just turns everything up to 11 here. Right off the bat, you get hit with this kind of just pure instrumental track. It's a kind of just like a surf rock that gets you into the mood for everything that's coming. And then you get songs like Chainsaw Massacre, which is basically told from the point of view of a kind of chainsaw murderer like Leatherface from Texas Chainsaw Massacres. And it's just so over the top that it's almost humorous in a way. It's never horrific or anything like that. It's more just dark humor. If, that's something you're into, you're probably going to love stuff like that. And it's got this kind of fun, upbeat, kind of groovy instrumental to it as well. It's almost something you could dance to, and then you listen to the lyrics and not so nice. And then you even have some kind of slower songs like Graveyard Tree 2, which is a continuation from their first album, had a track called Graveyard Tree, which is essentially about necrophilia. But again, it's so over the top that it's just done in a way where it becomes actually humorous in a way, if you're that type of person, where it's never gross or anything like that. You're never going to get the impression that these guys are actually into that or condoning it or anything like that. And it's basically Graveyard Tree 2 is told from the point of view of somebody who's now been in the hospital and institutionalized and medicated to not believe this, but still is somehow drawn to his dead lover. Now, of all the tracks on this album, the best track on here and my favorite psychobilly track probably of all time is The Perfect Suicide. There is so much to love about the song. I mean, it just starts off with that intro that kind of gets you really into and riled up, and then the lyrics about this alien race coming down and trying to save humanity, and humanity basically rejecting them and rejecting their pleas and everything, because from the song's point of view, these are, look like people, not like aliens, so nobody's believing them, and the way that they're going to escape Earth is going to be to basically kill themselves. It's called The Perfect Suicide. And it's just so fantastically done the entire time. The chorus has this nice hook that's going to get you into it. Like I said, it's kind of upbeat at the same time as being horrifically dark of a song, lyrically especially. And I think it really just emphasizes what psychobilly is and what it should be, and it's just it's my favorite track. It's one of my favorite songs of all time, not even within psychobilly, just of all time, period. And it really kind of demonstrates all the different elements that they have going on with the band, particularly frontman Vic Victor's just crazy vocal range that he has on the song, from the growling to his kind of deep bellowing voice when he's singing. Everything on that track is just absolute perfection. Now, this album is turning 10 years old this year. It came out in 2005, and for an album that came in 2005 within the psychobilly genre, and if you're into any kind of hardcore punk music, anything like that, or if you do appreciate good dark humor, it stands up very well. I mean, like I said, if I had to get somebody into the genre, this would be the album that I would go to. And I like it. There's not much to say about it. A lot of the tracks I often have on my playlists and things when I'm driving. You know, it's just such a fun album, especially if you are into kind of like that dark humor and stuff. It really works well. So for a 10-year album, Inhumane is fantastic, and I really think that people should kind of just give it a chance if you're even sound remotely interesting to you about, you know, what I described with psychobilly is and what this album is. Definitely try it and check it out. It's just great to listen to.